Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to Operation Freedom Briefings. The goal of these briefings and my weekly radio show is to provide you information the bought-off lamestream fake media is not going to provide. Our goal is to empower you by giving you information that you're not going to get from other sources. Please join us at davejanda.com. We have a free side, the public side, where we upload information on a regular basis. We have the subscription side, 30 cents a day, where we deep dive on issues. And we also have our Operation Freedom Radio Show, which you can stream live every Sunday from 2 to 5 Eastern from davejanda.com. Just go to the upper right-hand corner, hit the bell, and you can listen to the show every Sunday, 2 to 5 Eastern. Today I want to focus on Trump, tribunals, and the fact that the deep state is on the ropes. Look, their Russian narrative, their fake Russian hack narrative is falling apart at the seams. What do I mean by that? This from The Hill, John Solomon, great reporter. FBI had no clue about Trump-Russia collusion when Mueller took over. That, according to Lisa Page from the FBI. Now look, Mueller was tasked with investigating the collusion, but according to Lisa Page, at the time he was appointed, they had no evidence of Russian collusion with Trump. Oh, they had plenty of evidence with Hillary, but not Trump. So what Solomon says, quote, after 9 months of using some of the most awesome surveillance powers afforded to the United States intelligence services, the FBI still had not made a case connecting Trump or his campaign to Russia's election meddling, end quote. John Solomon of The Hill. And this from Zero Hedge, a newly reported comment made by former FBI attorney Lisa Page during a recent testimony to Congress has revealed a monumentous fact, according to The Hill's John Solomon. Quote, this is what Lisa Page said and told the congressional members. It's a reflection of us still not knowing, Page told Representative John Ratcliffe from Texas when questioned about texts she and Strzok exchanged in May of 2017 as Robert Mueller was being named a special prosecutor to take over the Russia investigation. With that statement, Page acknowledged a monumentous fact. After 9 months of using some of the most awesome surveillance powers afforded to the United States intelligence services, the FBI still had not made a case connecting Trump or his campaign to Russia's election meddling. Page opined further, acknowledging, quote, it still existed in the scope of possibility that there would be literally nothing, end quote. Yet Mueller was appointed and has yet to come up with anything. Look, the deep state is on the ropes. All their efforts to subvert the election of November of 2016 has been blocked, whether it was the recount, whether it was the calling into question the Electoral College, whether it's this fake Russian hack narrative that has now been dispelled, whether it's this fake Mueller investigation, whether it was Stormy Daniels, whether it was Karen McDougal, whether it was Trump's former attorney, Cohen, whether it was the op-ed that we discussed in the New York Times from that anonymous senior White House source, it's fallen apart. And the deep state is panicked and they're desperate. And they're on the ropes. Why do I believe they're on the ropes? Several reasons. It starts with the failing of this fake hack narrative in trying to get him out of office. All the other fails that we just discussed. But also, Trump has gone on the offensive. December 21st, 2017, he issued an executive order. He declared a national emergency. He focused on the human trafficking issues, but he declared a national emergency, which means he has complete control over the military and law enforcement in our country. That put the deep state on notice. In March 1st of 2018, he revised, through an executive order, the military tribunal protocols and procedures. In August 31st of 2018, and I mentioned this in a previous YouTube, he issued a national preparedness advisory. Now look, I realize the National Preparedness Advisory, variations of, have been issued since 2004 by the presidents of the United States. But this September, I believe, was very different. And the reason? is because Trump had previously declared a national emergency on December 21st, 2017. He then, as I mentioned, had changed the military tribunals and their protocols and their procedures. Those two entities have never been in place when a national preparedness advisory was presented to the public. And then, on September 12th of 2018, he issued another executive order, declaring another a national emergency, this time as it relates to foreign interference in elections. And now, on September 20th, first ever this has been done, they're going to roll out the wireless nationwide alert system. So on Thursday, September 20th, at 2:18 to 2:20 in the afternoon, Eastern Time, every phone call, every phone will go off with an alert. Now, granted, it's a drill. But again, I believe it sets the table. It sets the table for the coming reset that's going to occur, as we've discussed previously, with the rule of law and with the financial system. In addition, recently, Trump has had judges appointed at the federal level. 41 federal district court judges have been appointed. 26 federal court of appeals judges have been appointed. He's gotten one Supreme Court justice appointed. In addition, the reason why I also believe that the deep state is on the ropes, in addition to new judges, these executive orders, these national emergencies declared, military tribunal practices and procedures changed, all you have to do is look at the number of firings and resignations in the Department of Justice and FBI. In our country's history, and since the inception of the Department of Justice, since the inception of the FBI, there have never been such turnover at the leadership level in our country's history. In fact, there have been 26 individuals in the Department of Justice and FBI that have resigned or fired, including James Comey, Director, fired. Andrew McCabe, Deputy Director, fired. Peter Strzok, Counterintelligence Expert, fired. Lisa Page, who I mentioned earlier, had resigned. Ribicki, Chief of Staff, resigned. James Baker, General Counsel, resigned. Mike Cortran, Assistant Director for Public Affairs, resigned. Josh Campbell, Assistant to Comey, resigned. James Turgle, Executive Assistant Director, resigned. It goes on and on. And then look at the Department of Justice. Sally Yates, Deputy Attorney General, fired. Bruce Orr, Associate Deputy Attorney General, demoted twice. Loftman, Counterintelligence Chief, resigned. Rachel Brand, Deputy Attorney General, resigned. And it goes on and on. These are all deep state players. And they're gone. And the deep state is on the ropes. And then it became crystal clear. Lindsey Graham, at the Senate confirmation hearing of Brett Kavanaugh for the Supreme Court, and I will have the link posted below, went on took 5 minutes of his 30 minutes to focus on military tribunals. I believe this was a direct shot across the boat and the bow at the deep state and what's coming. Here's what he said, and here's what he asked. Did Judge Kavanaugh know that the United States is now in a state of war, as authorized in September 14, 2001, under the provision of the authorization for use of military force? Kavanaugh responded, yes. I've done some research. In the history of Senate confirmation hearings of Supreme Court justices, the issue of military tribunals has never come up, but it has now. And I believe, again, this is because the deep state is on the ropes. He goes on, did Judge Kavanaugh know that aside from federal and national criminal laws, the United States now operates under the law of armed conflict, also known as the law of war? In other words, under the guise, if you will, of the utilization of military tribunals. Did Judge Kavanaugh know the significance of the U.S. Supreme Court decision Johnson versus Eisenstrager that states that the U.S. Constitution does not confer a right of personal security or an immunity from military trial and punishment upon an alien enemy engaged in the hostile service of a government at war with the United States? Did Judge Kavanaugh know the significance of the U.S. Supreme Court decision Hamdi versus Rumsfeld that recognized the power of the U.S. government to detain enemy combatants, including U.S. citizens? On all these issues, as you'll see in the clip, Kavanaugh responds, yes, he did know that. Did Judge Kavanaugh know the significance of the U.S. Supreme Court decision Ex parte Quirin that allowed a U.S. military tribunal to try and execute Nazi German saboteurs captured and tried on American soil? What does this all add up to? We have several national emergencies that have been declared by Trump. The military tribunals, procedures, and protocols have been changed. We now have a Supreme Court nominee being asked in public about the existence of military tribunals and their legitimacy, of which he conferred yes. We have 68 judges that have recently been appointed, new judges, by Trump. My guess is 100% of those judges have signed on to a new rule of law. And we have more officials resigning and being fired from the Department of Justice and FBI that has ever occurred in our nation's history. Bottom line, I believe tribunals are coming. And I believe the people that are going to be put in front of these tribunals are players within the deep state. I have gone on record as saying one of the individuals I believe that's going to be the first to go in front of these tribunals and to be held to the new rule of law is former director of the CIA, John Brennan. I stand behind that statement. I truly believe that with this new rule of law and the reset of the rule of law, your freedoms, my freedoms, every American's freedoms and liberties will be restored. Freedoms and liberties that have been usurped and stolen over a number of decades' time by the deep state. Please join us at davejanda.com. We have more information in this regard. Again, the show every Sunday, 2 to 5 Eastern. You can stream it live at davejanda.com. Join us for the public content we put on davejanda.com. Subscription content is 30 cents a day, biggest bang for the buck in the internet, I believe. Please join us at davejanda.com. Public side, subscription side, we're there for you 24/7. Until next time, this is Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail.